On the blower right now, joining us all the way from Canberra, it's the Wallabies halfback himself, Nick White. Whitey, how you doing, brother? Oh, shit, it's frozen.
Oh, there he
That's
is.
good. No, there he is. Whitey, you there? Can you hear us?
Yeah. Mate.
Say something, mate.
How you doing, Whitey?
Good, mate. I was just sitting there for ages. I hit refresh. I was like, this is weird.
Man, I was like, man, this is a really good intro. We're feeling it. Whitey. Shit, we lost him.
I was watching your stuff on Instagram.
That's why he froze. Panicked. How did this happen?
No, mate, Whitey, thanks so much for joining us, all the way from Canberra, as we said. First and foremost, we were trying to get you on the show a couple of weeks ago. You were keen, but then sort of died out, obviously, because you were busy negotiating and working out a few of the little deals, but recently signed with the Western Force, mate. Absolutely huge, and you must be excited to be heading over.
I am, yeah. Sorry, I went a bit radio silent on you for a week.
Yeah, I felt bad.
He takes it personally.
Things were getting a little tight around when it was going to come out, but mate, stoked with it. I just to let you in, like a couple of weeks ago, I'd kind of come to the realisation that kind of Australian rugby, that was going to be it. And then I'd told Brumbies I was leaving, and the Force thing all kind of come to fruition pretty late. So I'm genuinely stoked that I'm able to stay in Rugby Australia, and so thankful for the Force to be able to work something out to go over there, which they're building something pretty special, and I feel like I've got a bit to offer, and it should be good for all parties.
Bloody oath. But I just want to ask you, Whitey, you said yourself you've been there since, I think it was 2008, 15-odd years later. You've made the decision to leave. The only Super Rugby franchise in Australia you've ever known is the Brumbies. Very successful. This decision had to have been incredibly tough to sign with the Western Force.
Yeah, massive. Like the decision, like the whole process has been going for a bit over 6 months. I feel like it's been weighing on me a fair bit. But yeah, like it wasn't something taken lightly at all, and bloody tough. Like telling the boys, I got a bit emotional, and the club. So telling a guy like Gary Quinslivin, who's the heartbeat of the club, to go in on my day off and sit in his little dungeon and let him know I'm going to head somewhere else. And yeah, mate, it's bizarre. It's all I've known for a long time, and like all the opportunities I've had in rugby, and this one included, like being able to go to the Western Force, all started because Brumbies took a punt on me in 2008. A kid out of Campbelltown at a little league school there, chopping at ankles, and yeah, like Owen Finnegan saw something, and I stuck around long enough, and I've been able to travel the world and still give me the opportunity. So thankful to them. Like they've opened up a whole life that I never would have known.
Mate, like now you've ripped the Band-Aid off and you've gone through that process. Like, was there anything that really attracted you to make the move over to Perth? And are you sort of excited to what they're doing over there? And like, what I mean by attract, was there something that really caught your eye that sort of thought, I want to lock in over there? I know it's an opportunity, but was there anything that really caught your eye?
Yeah, there's a few layers of it. For the family, the ability to stay in Australia. I've got 3 little boys, and that's attractive. Living in Perth is phenomenal. Like I don't have to sell it to anyone really. Like it's a good place to live. The rugby side of things, I'm excited to be a part of the building they're doing over there. Simon Cron's got there, and you're starting to see it at the moment. Like they played really well on the weekend against the Drua, and like they're the 4th best side at home at the moment. They're a bloody good side, and I look forward to being able to take what I've learnt from 3 different clubs that have all been pretty successful, and take it over and be a part of creating a program that wants people to come to Perth and to get better and become a Wallaby, and that's why I'm going there. Simon Cron's over there. I spoke to him plenty. I've spoken to boys at the Tars who absolutely rave about him. Guys at Toyota in Japan, I have nothing but good things to say about him, and all the guys at the Force at the moment absolutely loving him. So it's obviously doing something right, and I'm keen to be a part of that and create something that, like a program over there that makes players better, and then, hopefully see some Wallabies from out of there, and the Force playing some really good footy. So there's an opportunity for me to pass on a bit of what I know and also be a part of it and and do something special over there.
And you mentioned family before. Basically, you could have written your own ticket anywhere in the world. Obviously, starting for the Wallabies, at that level, what is it that made you want to stay in Australian rugby? Why Australia? Why for the next couple of years?
Yeah, look, I'm pretty passionate about this. Like, I've always seen that guys hit a certain age and, one, they go overseas because they probably want to, but the other is they kind of I felt like they pushed that way. I feel like older guys, like I'd love to have seen a Dave Dennis beat the Waratahs over the last 3 or 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was awesome that Greg Holmes came back and was at the Force for a while. Well, I was at a couple of clubs overseas where a lot of the older guys ran the change room and kept the consistency and kind of ran that, I guess like ran the day-to-day around clubs and a lot of young kids reap the benefits of it. And I think in Australian rugby it would benefit from a guy like James Slipper sticking around a while for the younger guys to learn off. It'd be awesome to have like Michael Hooper stick around until he hangs them up. And, and there's been so many guys over the last years, but they hit 30 and they're off and they're overseas and they're still playing some good years. Scott Fardy at Leinster, man, he was unreal. How good would have he been in an Australian side? And I understand we're tight for cash and can't keep everyone, but it just seems like a lot of good experience goes, and I'd love to be able to pass what I know and what I've learnt, and I wish a whole heap of older guys had passed it on to me earlier, to a whole lot of kids, because we've got a heap of young Super Rugby sides and a really young Wallaby squad. So there's a fair few there that if they all just kind of disappear, it'd be a real shame.
Here, mate. Get me back.
Mate,
Nice try, Quirky.
it must make these final 5 or 6 weeks with the Brumbies even more special for you.
Yeah, big time. Obviously puts a finite kind of full stop on it, doesn't it? And I'm getting into like, oh geez, there's only 6 Tuesdays left. It's a little bit exciting, though.
The coat hanger. Yeah.
But mate, yeah, it does. It is exciting where we're going at the moment, how we're tracking. But it certainly has that feel about it that you got to leave no stone unturned, and kind of like to think I'll be pretty motivated to get it done anyway, but extra motivated to make sure everyone's leaving no stone unturned, that we give it a real crack, because there is a special feeling. Like guys like Pete Samu, they're going to miss him as well. This squad's not going to be together again next year, and we've got a good squad at the moment and we're doing pretty well, so it'd be a shame not to throw the full kitchen sink at it.
Bloody oath, Whitey. And the thing is, you've actually got experience playing in the top 14 with Montpellier and then obviously in the Premiership with Exeter. I mean, you look at the crowds and you look at the competition they've got over there compared to, say, Super Rugby here. What is it that they do different, be it on the pitch or off it, that really sets them apart from Super Rugby?
Look, for top 14 is just different, completely different again. Like there's a few comparisons you can make with the Premiership. The top 14, obviously, a big game over there. Like they absolutely love scrums. Like I was talking to someone the other day that they were phenomenal there. I was feeding one of my first scrums and the crowd just started slowly clapping. And the longer the scrum went, the louder the chant got. And I was like, oh my God, they love scrums.
I love it.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so there's a real appreciation for the game there, and it's different. It's big. It's a slogfest, and like it's pretty entertaining. And then the Prem itself, it's a little bit different. Obviously, going through their own problems at the moment. But what I found really interesting was I always thought, there's a perception that you go to England and it's just it's a slow game. A lot of kicking, a lot of scrums, mauls, all that, but it's actually played at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon more often than not. You got a dry deck and they throw it around quite a bit. Like the number of passes in the Prem probably a bit more than Super Rugby, like a fair bit more. The ball in play is probably quite a bit more. It's not as fast and ferocious, but they're kind of going end to end and the ball's always in play. And that was a little bit different, something I kind of enjoyed and could appreciate the difference there. And I guess that 3 o'clock kickoff for some reason worked for them. I know with TV rights we've got to play at 8 o'clock at night, but you come down to GIO at 8 o'clock at night and she's going to be dewy and it's going to be a different game to what you see at club rugby where they're throwing it around right at 3 o'clock and you see helter-skelter end-to-end footy. We got a good game on the weekend, obviously Mother's Day down here, 2:45 kickoff, and you saw what we could do with those sort of conditions. It's bloody fun. Both teams come out of the sheds going, "Wow, it's a good day to run." So unfortunately, the game is a little bit different. Eden Park, the Christchurches, these sort of places that are not making too many excuses, but it creates a different sort of game to what you see in the Prem. I kind of like the messiness of a slippery ball and creates more contest. But I know people are looking for a clean game at the moment. They compare it to league. They want clean. But, our game is messy, man. Everything's a contest, and so it should be. And you make the ball a little bit greasy, and it just makes everything just a bit more of a contest. And that's what I love about our game. I like, here we go, I'll put myself out there, but league is like a slow game of tennis where it's kind of like the ball just moves up and back until someone stuffs up. And that applies pressure, whereas our game is just a contest. The line out, the scrum, the first breakdown, everything's a contest, and I love that, and I love it when it's greasy and it's like that.
Bloody oath. Yeah. Have you ever been tested for psychopathic tendencies or anything, Nick? Because
he hasn't blinked.
I love it when it's greasy, and I love getting in there, and everyone else is like, that sucks, man.
Big dudes running at me.
Don't forget to blink. Don't forget to blink, mate. Speaking of Messi, which is my whole life, but speaking about the Premier League over there, especially sort of, it's suited your game style, obviously, with the passing and the kicking. And when I mean by Messi, a 3 o'clock game usually means for an early shower and an early beer. So that's what I sort of meant by getting Messi. But, mate, you obviously went out a bit of a winner with Exeter, and you came close a few times there before. Mate, is it that hard to win over the Premier League? I've always admired what it is. And, did you find that it was a real hard one to win? Because you see a few teams knocking it on the head a few, but for the others, they find hard to grab.
Yeah, obviously joined a side that was already doing pretty well, Exeter. The summer I joined them, they just won the comp. We went on a trot of 4 more finals after that, and Saracens at the time, obviously got busted cheating looking back. But at the time,
a couple of extra dollar dudes.
Yeah, and that's a whole other situation again. It's a tricky one with Europe over there. Obviously, Saracens got done for cheating in the Prem, but the salary cap that top 14 work on is something silly, like 20 million. Then they've got to play, Saracens have got to play them and capped at £5 million, and then the URC, Leinsters, and these they're working at 14 million or something silly as well. So, I didn't mind that Saracens were cheating because it was an English team competing in Europe, and they needed to do that to be able to compete. Obviously, didn't like it from an Exeter point of view where we played them because they had guys like Will Skelton on the bench, Richard Wigglesworth, all these international players they brought on and took the game away from us. So we lost 2 against them. Then they got busted and we went all the way and did the double that year, which was a bloody good year. And then had a couple more finals as well. But a good stint. Obviously, they're going through a bit of a change at the moment. But they had a phenomenal core young groups come through that club from the local area, which is pretty spectacular, really, to have. I think it was about 8 blokes all in the starting team, all from the Exeter area. So that was pretty amazing.
Absolutely. And I want to get to know, I guess, you a little bit more. Obviously, we see you as the ultimate competitor on the field. And at 32, 33 years of age, you don't look like you're slowing down anytime soon. But how do you stay on top of your game? How do you stay that fierce competitor? How do you stay, hungry to succeed? Obviously, you've got 2 years at the Force. You'll be 35 at that point. You know what I mean? I can't imagine you slowing down throughout this process.
I think so. I appreciate that. And I love how you use the word fierce competitor like that. It's, to be honest, I see what people say. They think, the way I play. Absolutely hate me. And it's just competitiveness. The guys I play against, the older I get, I make sure I catch up with them after a game. I leave it on the field and all that. But in terms of, look, I think it is just that. I compete in everything. If it's something small in the gym, I still want to win it. I know guys get the shits because we're doing a warm up and it's just a drill, but I want to win it. If it's a game, I want to
you're
win.
That guy.
Yeah,
I thought you would have been.
Yeah, and it's just who I am. I can't switch it off, unfortunately. If I'm playing a game against the kids, struggle to lose.
That actually bleeds into my question, mate. A father of three, give us some insight as to what you're like away from the footy field.
Right, it's funny. Like I nothing like you'd imagine what I am. I guess seeing me on the footy field, I think I'm quite different. And they've been a real blessing in disguise. Helped me. I feel like my career's gotten so much better since I've met my wife and had kids. Just the ability to switch off and get balance in my life. Like I guess you guys hearing now, like I'm a bit of a rugby nose. Like I love it. Can get too wrapped up in it at times, and a good way to switch off is coming home. They don't really care what's happened at training or if I've won or not.
Here, Dad, take this shitty nappy on the way through. Pass that to the bin, bud.
Do it quickly.
Yeah.
So, mate, they've been unreal and it's been so good. And like I guess like it. I'm not competitive. That's the wrong word, but I consistently challenge myself as well to be a better dad, be a better husband as well. Because that's something I seem to be all right at rugby, but that's something I need to work on a fair bit.
Bloody oath. Well, you touched on it before. You will be 35 when you wrap up the Western Force. Whether or not you proceed further with your playing career after that, but obviously you're going to have your eye on your post-playing career. What does that look like? Do you want to stay in the game? Is there a media side that you want to work down? Like, what does it look like to you, your post-playing career?
That's a good question, mate. I don't know. Like at 35, I don't think I'll be hanging them up at that point. But that's me now. What I'm like at that age, I don't know. But like I look at guys overseas. Richard Wigglesworth was playing for Leicester, won the Prem at 39. Danny Care's still playing good footy at 36, 37. There's guys out there. So if you look after your body, invest into it, I feel like you can keep going, and certainly that's the plan. But post-rugby, I would like to stay in rugby, whether that's coaching or just helping out in some way. I'm not sure, but certainly people seem to, over the last few years, keep pushing coaching. And it's hopefully not too soon.
Competitive coach, that's all we need.
Yeah. Mate, I could be a great blow up in the box like Craig Bellamy.
Yeah, bloody oath, like Desi Hasler smashing the door off the dressing shed sort of stuff.
Yeah, but I also think there's place for, I guess, for a few guys leaving the game straight away in media. That bridge between where the game's at the moment, and knowing guys. Like I feel like there's. Sometimes you can, when guys put the mic in front of young guys, they don't feel comfortable. But when I guess they know someone who's played with them, trained with them, you can get a little bit more maybe out of them, because we've got some unbelievable personalities, like in our game. But we just, they're shy. They don't want to do it because they don't want to look like a dickhead. They don't want to be taken the piss out of and need to be looked after. But I'd love to see those guys get more airtime and be able to get more of it out of them, because we've got some good ones that show it in the sheds, but as soon as the camera comes on them, they're a bit shy.
Mate, absolutely could not agree more. Whitey, mate, World Cup's dawning on us very fast. Mate, you got Eddie at the helm. What are we looking for in the Wallabies, and what are we going to get?
Yeah, it's coming around quick, eh? Look, I think with Eddie, he's leaving no stone unturned. That's certainly his approach, and always has been. He's said a number of times that talent's not the issue, but for some reason we're not winning games. So like he's got a whole heap of sports psychologists in with us, and making sure that that whatever's the missing link, we work on it, and we're working pretty hard at that. And in terms of play, like he's just smart. Like he's just looking to innovate, play smart, not. We certainly won't be predictable. Backs the boys and backs their talents. Just, I guess, the top 2 inches that is a bit lacking, and he's got three people working on that side. So it's exciting, but mate, there's going to be some hard work in between now and then, and that's exciting too.
He hasn't called you at 3 a.m. yet, has he?
No, a few text messages, but
dick pics.
Jeez,
Sorry about that. Whitey, I just want to ask you a question, mate, because there's been a lot of chat in regards to it, and you're moving to the Western Force. Looks a lot like it's obviously freeing up a clear pathway for Ryan Lonergan, who obviously is your heir apparent in regards to not just the Brumbies jersey, but potentially the Wallabies. We've seen David Nusafora in Ireland have such great success with centralisation in regards to their system there. And your move to the Force, as I sort of touched on, could maybe look like there is a touch of centralisation or a little bit of tactics in that space there. Was there any, I don't want to say pressure, but was there any sort of conversations coming from Rugby Australia or anyone else in particular that may have helped facilitate that move, or was that ever on the table at all?
No, it wasn't. Like I said, I kind of was kind of just patient around waiting for a contract to come forward, and then kind of come to terms that it wasn't going to be the case. And then things developed there once I kind of told Brumbies I was leaving, and then after that, it was kind of a last little Hail Mary thrown, and then that's how it's unfolded. So, look, I'm not opposed to the whole centralisation of things and seeing how it worked in Ireland, but this wasn't the case here. It was just just good fortune, really. I've used up all my luck with this one. Look, man, I'm pretty chuffed.
Mate, you're doing pretty bloody well for yourself. So.
Mate, just a quick two-parter. The first one is I noticed that you've kept spelling your name N-I-C. Do you feel that the blokes that have the name Nicholas with an H, that they put on a K on the end of their name, they're just frauds, or they're hiding from something? And the second part is, do you think Bernard Foley didn't hear you when you were yelling, kick the ball, kick the ball, kick the ball? Like pretty loud? Go first one.
Mate, first part. Outstanding pickup, and yes, I do. I'm all
fraud, right? Where are they hiding from, right? Adding letters? Come on.
But it's how it started. I think I would have been like year 5 or year 6 or something, and another Nick said to me, I was spelling N-I-C-K, and this other Nick, N-I-C, goes, why would you spell it with a K? What is it, Nickick? And I was like...
Fair point.
I was like, that's true. And he's like, no, Nicholas, where'd you get the K from? And I was like, yeah. All right. So, all right, mate. And then
Shout out to the original Nick.
Yeah. Nicholas Fulcher.
Where's he now, Whitey? Do you know where he is now?
Yeah, mate, he's still in Maitland. Absolute legend. Still stay in touch.
Is he spelling his name with a K now too?
No, he's NIC.
Good man.
Oh, original.
Second part, Nardi. Nah, mate, not touching that one.
Yeah. NIC, mate.
Exactly.
And finally, Whitey, we do a quick 5 at the end of each interview. So we'll just rush through these. Just first things that come to your mind as we go through. Yep. If you could have any other athlete from any other sport in the Wallaby side, who would you have?
Oh, any other athlete in any other sport? Well, they'd have to come across the rugby. Like straight away, I'm like, someone like LeBron James, but he'd be useless at rugby. So it's like, what league would I bring over? Is that what you're asking me?
It could be anything, mate. You know, Mason Cox, put him in the row from AFL.
Yeah.
A couple of jockeys at 9. Who knows?
Yeah. Can I come back to that one?
Yeah.
What's your career highlight?
Career highlight, probably Sydney 2015 against the All Blacks, winning the rugby championship. That was, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Favourite teammate?
Oh, gee whiz. Because immediately I just think, like, so many people are going to be pissed off.
That's kind of the idea.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. I'll go with Matt Tamua.
And then least favourite?
Oh, don't have one. Awesome.
And then finally, mate, who's been the most influential person in your career?
Geez. Rugby-wise, so again, Matt Brennan, he was like headmaster out of St Greg's, and I was quickly on my way back just to Maitland up in the Hunter Valley, and he reached out to Owen Finnegan, said, mate, why don't you just come have a look at this bloke play against Will Skelton School? And that one phone call, Owen Finnegan, then watched me play and said to my mum, would Nick like to come down and be like the 11th string 9 at the Brumbies? And bloody hell, yeah, I would. Mate, that one moment from Matt Brennan, I still stay in touch, and he's been a big supporter of mine. I've got so many, but if I had to just down to one, my time at St Greg's and his influence changed my life.
It's awesome.
Absolutely awesome. Well, mate, Whitey, thanks so much for joining us, mate. It's been an absolutely awesome career to date. Obviously, you're setting a new path out there in WA, but you've got a World Cup you've got to win for the boys by the end of this year. So all the best with it, mate. We'll be cheering you on from here. But thanks for joining us, brother.
No, thanks for having me, and love your content, guys. Appreciate it. Sorry I left you high and dry for a week, but I haven't got it.
Oh, look, to be honest, I'm used to it. Whitey. Nick White, everybody. Round of applause. Cheers, Whitey. Thanks, brother.